Powered by Riverside FM.
All right, so our guest for the Browns Backers interview series this week is Bobby and Kevin from the Browns Backers of North Jersey. Bobby, Kevin, thanks for joining us. How are you today?
Great. Thanks for having us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, very excited for this one. So.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I know everybody's time is valuable, so thanks for taking some of yours, especially around the holidays, to chat with us. So before we get into some of the more exciting stuff, just tell us a little bit. Not that you guys aren't exciting, but tell us a little bit about your chapter and kind of what you guys have going on up there.
Well, we originated in 1989. We're actually the 186th chapter of the Browns Backers.
Nice.
The chapter was founded by a Joanne Stonson back in 1989. She actually put a article in the local newspaper looking for Browns fans. And the group actually started in 1989. I became a member probably in 2000, 2006, 2004, 2005, right around there. And then, of course, I introduced my son. My other son actually just started following the Browns now, too. So he comes every week as well.
Who was he following before that?
What's that?
Who was he following before that?
He wasn't following anybody. He wasn't really a sports fan, but now, he gets into all the fantasy stuff now. So, and he sees how much fun we're having. So he comes down with us now, too.
I was going to give him some shit, but then I realized he wasn't rooting for anybody, so it's okay.
So, but he's having a blast now, too. So, but we meet down in Rockaway, New Jersey, at the little place called the Exchange. We have our own room downstairs. It's actually a banquet hall, but they actually put up TVs for us. We have our own bar down there. They have a big screen that comes down from the ceiling. Nobody bothers us. We have our own entrance, own bathrooms. It's great, and we hoot and holler down there, and it's a great time.
Nice.
We really have a good time.
Nice to have your own area for sure.
Yeah.
And but occasionally they'll put a banquet down there. We'll have to go upstairs, and we're really not. People don't really
get
care.
shipped at us by other fans.
For some reason, when you're in another town, they don't like you cheering for somebody else. Huh?
It's funny how many of as we've gone through the series of the Browns Backers, how many of these chapters each started with just like a note in a local paper.
I was going to say this is the second week in a row where that's how it started out. Is just like a couple people or one person put a ad in the paper and said Browns fans wanted. And
it's just funny to think about how times have changed. I mean, when you think about like group networking today and how much different it is with social media.
Right.
Yeah. But today, though, they'd all be flaky and not show up. So,
I can tell you, when I wear Brown stuff around, I get more comments from people wearing my Brown stuff, and it's just easy. You just tell them about the club, and sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't.
But the best part is, man, just seeing all the people walk into the bar and they're like, where the hell did all these Browns fans come from?
Yeah.
So it's just great seeing everyone's face, and then, just...
They're like, I thought we were in North Jersey. Did we take a wrong turn? We end up in Cleveland? No, but so part of the reason we're doing this interview series is because we want to highlight, obviously, you guys are a Browns Backers chapter in North Jersey, and there's Browns Backers chapters all over the country and all over the world. And we all know that Browns fans are everywhere. But part of what we wanted to do here was highlight some of the good things around your community that you're able to do being a Browns Backers chapter, be it community service, charity work, whatever that may be. So can you tell us a little bit what you guys have going on in your chapter?
Yeah, so we do a bunch of raffles, but we do a lot of donations. We're really big into charity. One of the things we do is the Tunnels to Towers Foundation. That's usually the first game of the year, obviously, because it usually falls around 9/11. And obviously this area here, a lot of people were affected by 9/11. So we have actually a couple of members who actually work for Annan Flags, which is a large flag manufacturer. They donate some flags to us, which we raffle off. And we send the money to the Tunnels to Towers Foundation. My dad and Kevin's grandfather passed away from Alzheimer's back in 2018. So we do a big Alzheimer's fundraiser. We do the walk. This past fall, we raised over $6,000, almost $7,000 for that. I have a relative who was a really good athlete, and he developed a brain tumor, which kind of affected his whole, so we donate to the Children's Brain Tumor Foundation here in North Jersey. We also donate food to the Interfaith Food Pantry. I started a couple of years ago, a twice a year, we do a raffle for a jersey of your choice. So basically people pay $10 to enter. And then if you bring food in, I'll give you more tickets for the jersey. So then every week I go to the food pantry and we've donated about 800 pounds of food so far this year.
Wow.
And then we also donate to the North Star Pet Rescue, which is a local pet adoption and pet rescue place up here as well.
So you guys have a ton of things there.
Yeah, a lot of great causes there.
So, and then, if people from our group want to, have an idea about donating somewhere, then we'll accept that idea too. We've donated to, then we did a March Madness pool, and we donated to St. Jude's. Kevin won that pool, so he donated
to half to St. Jude's and half,
everything went to St. Jude's.
And so, obviously you guys, like Kenny said, you guys have a lot of good things going on there. You're donating to a lot of good causes. And so with that, I mean, is there any special events that you guys have coming up that you're hosting, be it now in these next couple of weeks during the playoffs or in the off season?
Well, what we usually do, we usually meet for the draft, obviously. And then now I'm starting to slowly try to get a golf outing going. We're like approaching, I don't know if you can see the belt in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
But that's the belt for the champions because we won this past year.
Nice.
It's kiddingly called the Angry Bobby Open because they call me angry because I'm usually angry yelling at the TV or something.
You don't seem so angry.
Wait till the game is on, man.
Watch the game. So they call me Angry Bobby. So that's the name of the golf outing. It's called the Angry Bobby Open. And any money we raise from that to also go to the same charities I just mentioned before.
You can't hear it right now, but our board man is in the background just laughing.
What golf course do you guys do that at? Do you rotate every year? Or do you have a specific course you go to?
There's a local course up here, Berkshire Valley. Give them a little plug.
Good course.
Yeah, it's a really tough course.
Nice.
So Ronnie and I both have a golf background, so we're always interested to hear where
little
guys are playing.
Little known fact: you're talking to a couple of golf instructors, not the greatest golfers ourselves. We won't, but we can teach you.
Want to come out June 7th? Come on out.
Oh man, June 7th. We got to pencil that in right after the Browns fan cruise. So.
Yeah, we'll be there. Yeah. Don't tempt us with a good time.
Yeah, but no. With all that being said, I mean, let's get on to the football side of things. I mean, we all love talking football. So, what are your guys' thoughts about the game this past week against the Texans?
Well, it was a nice, relaxing game. Let's put it that way.
Well, it's kind of a little scary, but thankfully they pulled it out.
Yeah, when he took the starters out, we got a little worried. But then when we put him back in, we were all rooting. I wanted Cooper to get the record. I mean,
yeah,
I saw him there pleading on the sideline, to get in. And when the Texans finally scored a couple touchdowns, he was able to get back in there.
I think the defense just gave him up because they said, "Yeah, we got to get him back in."
I'm not too happy about the injuries to Hopkins and our punter, but everything's happened this whole season. Somebody next guy stepped up.
Next man up.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Isn't it just the most bizarre Brown season that you can remember? I mean, with all the adversity and injuries, but this team just continues to win. Like it just feels like I'm in a parallel universe.
Opposite of what typically would happen to a Browns team.
Right.
Exactly.
Cleveland mentality, though. So.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. And it's like you just said, next man up, and everybody seems to be stepping up. And we've given Kevin Stefanski a hard time in the past, but it seems like this team has really, kind of rallied around him and bought in. And he's him and Jim Schwartz and everybody else on that coaching staff have them all playing for each other. And it's fascinating to see. So, So how do you guys, with that being said, you guys mentioned the injuries. So how do you think they've dealt, we've talked about it a little bit already, but how do you think they've dealt with the injuries? And do you think they can sustain much more of that?
So far, so good. I mean, who would have thought Flacco would be coming in here playing quarterback?
I have buddies that are Jets fans, and when they sign Flacco, they're like, "Oh, good luck with him." I'm like, "Okay, wait till old Flacco comes back and see what happens."
4 games later and 1,300 yards, and you're like, feels pretty good. Yeah.
But I must admit, though, in that Bears game, I kind of like, oh, here we go. When he threw the interceptions, and then he bounced back, and
it's that old savvy veteran.
Just shake your head like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Just
it has been wild, and I don't think anybody at the beginning of the season, if you had your bingo card, Joe Flacco is going to be the starting quarterback for the Browns and he's going to dominate.
Exactly.
Nobody would have had either.
The guy's like, so
now he just jinxed him. Wait till the first play of the game next week.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Angry Bobby's going to come out. It's. I think what it boils down to is Bill Callahan is just such a good offensive line coach. It seems like no matter who they get, they plug them in, and it might be a little shaky or a little rocky the first little bit, but then it's like you didn't even know.
Well, it seems like no other position group embodies next man up quite like that offensive line group does.
No, they've had. We're down to one single or maybe two now, but at one point it was a single starter left. Yeah. So
it was the Bears game. It was like we had 4 different combinations of offensive line in there. So,
but it was nice to see Luke Whippler in there. He's a North Jersey boy. North Jersey boy. So.
Yeah, he was hurt most of the beginning of the season, wasn't he?
Right.
Obviously it was a backup too, but he was hurt most of the beginning of the season. But yeah, they keep stepping up, and it's been great to see, and obviously at all the other positions as well. I think the only one that I would argue nobody's really stepped up is running back, and for some reason we still keep winning despite not having a good running game. So
yeah, that's one thing we got to get going is that running game.
Yep.
the TV to go cut up the field is the only thing that's
just make a decision and go. That's all you. Yeah. And I think we're a little spoiled because Nick Chubb is the absolute best at that in the world. So
it is sad not having Nick Chubb this year. Just thinking about the success the team is having and the what he means to the city and to the team to have him not there, it still stings.
I'm sure it's hurting him too.
You want to do so good and have him on the sideline now. It just hurts.
Yep. And so let's look to this week. What are your thoughts on the Week 17 matchup with the goddamn Jets?
Well, before we got on this call, I just saw that Zach Wilson is definitely out this week.
Trevor Siemian.
Nice.
So we got Trevor Siemian. So
I guess that's bad for us because Zach Wilson's probably worse. Let's be honest.
Well, we were at the game in 2019 when Trevor Siemian played. And that's when Myles Garrett knocked him out on the third play of the game.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember who the backup was. I don't even know who
it was.
Luke Falk or something like that.
No, it was like the long last name. Like I don't even.
But I don't even know who the third string quarterback is for the Jets. To be honest with you.
Well, if they would give Myles Garrett a hold call and he knocks him out again this week, he's we might run into the same situation because nobody knows who Trevor Siemian's backup is if Zach Wilson.
That's when Angry Bobby comes out is when Myles Garrett doesn't get his hold calls, man.
Oh, it's been terrible. It's been absolutely awful.
What are you guys hearing on the ground there in Jersey about just the Jets in general? I mean, it's kind of been a season a little bit mirroring the Browns. They've had a lot of injuries, questions at quarterback, but they've still won some games out there.
Yeah, they had a big win this past week. I mean, it was the Commanders, but we saw the score on the side. They're up. We're like, oh my God, the Jets are up by 20 because they don't really score. I don't think they've ever scored it like in the first quarter.
I think their defense was holding off. Though. That's like the one thing I'm a little nervous about is Thursday's that defense.
They have a good defense. The defensive line, they got Sauce Gardner also.
That's a cornerback.
I know. I'm saying as a cornerback, they got him.
Don't make Angry Bobby come out.
Yeah, they got a good defense. They got a good defense. Offense, Garrett Wilson. Yeah, I'm always afraid of him. And Breece Hall. I mean.
You got to get our D-line blocking that run.
Yeah.
Seems like anytime our running back just always our top run defense goes away when we go against some mediocre running backs. So
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It is weird. It's like when we play the nobodies, that's the games that it seems like they rush for 180 yards, and you're like,
Exactly.
where'd this come from?
Right.
But no, so I mean, obviously, the Jets are out of playoff contention, have been for a couple weeks. Aaron Rodgers decided not to come back this week or this season because of that. But what are you guys hearing? I'm just curious. Locally, do the Jets fans still think that Aaron Rodgers is like the savior and they're going to win the Super Bowl next year?
Yeah.
We got plenty of people around here. Plenty of people that.
I just don't understand.
They were hoping he'd come back this year, I think.
Well, the MILF hunter Zach Wilson ruined that. So, but no, I mean, yeah, I would say that they're crazy, and I think I actually just did. But at the same time, we've got 38-year-old Flacco that's out here about to take us to a Super Bowl. So I guess crazier things have happened. But yeah, I just didn't know with the injury, and I mean, what's Aaron Rodgers going to be 39, 40 when he comes back from popped Achilles. So
I think he'd be close to 40, right?
Yeah. So,
but yeah, he bought a house here. I mean, him and Tommy DeVito live in the same town.
Nice. They going out for pizza.
That's actually where David Njoku's from too. The same town.
Oh wow.
Cedar Grove.
Everybody's from up there.
Is Tommy DeVito the biggest story in like the New York area right now?
Once Aaron Rodgers went down, and then a couple weeks later, Tommy DeVito stepped up. They're like, "Oh, new savior for either New York team." So definitely taking the front page of the paper. So,
man.
But this headline in the New York Post today was fried cutlets.
That's what Mom was making this week.
Yeah,
because he got pulled from the game. So
yeah. Yeah, well, he was pretty bad in the first half, wasn't he? It was rough.
Yeah, and then our old buddy Tyrod Taylor came in.
Yep. So what are they saying locally where you guys are at, if anything, about the Browns? I mean, are they looking at this game as are they chalking up an L, or are they thinking they're gonna be able to pull one out?
Got to pull the old stats now.
Yeah, I don't. Again, the big I get the paper every day. I'm one of the very few guys who still reads the newspaper. I still go to the store and get the newspaper and read it. And I get the New York Post. And
you're the only guy I know. I said you're the only guy I know that reads the paper.
So, and I get made fun of that, too. But today, the story was about Joe Flacco, because he was on the Jets and the old man Flacco coming back, but they don't think the Jets are going to beat the Browns. I mean, look at the line already went up. It was like 5.5. Now it's 7. So
yeah,
we'll see. I mean, I'm a little confident this week, which is probably not.
It's not a good thing. That means we're gonna.
That's usually when bad things happen for the Browns.
Yeah.
But these are a different. This is a different Browns team.
You should have heard us before the Jets game last year. We were pretty confident.
Oh man, yeah. If you want some entertaining content, just go back and listen to our Jets preview last year and.
We showed up the next week with bags on our heads, so
it was my fault. Because I tell you what we do here, we have fun. We have a poop head emoji, okay,
like a hat
at our club. And if anyone makes a stupid comment like, "Oh, this game is over" or whatever, I put it on their head like, "Just shut up, don't say anything."
It was
last year at the Jet game. There was a Jet fan there.
Yeah,
it was our friend.
buddy came.
And I went up to him like, "Dude, you gave us a great game." After Chubb scored, I said, "You gave us a great game." And then we were about to line up do the shots, and that was it. Forget it.
My buddy was like, "I don't know how to react right now. I'm just going to keep quiet. I'm going to possibly curl up on the ball and celebrate under the table or something like that." But he's like, "I have no idea how to react."
It's a good choice. Just when in doubt around a bunch of angry Browns fans, just keep your mouth shut. No, so with this game, though, do you guys have predictions for us? I want a score prediction out of both of you.
I'll go first. I'm saying Browns 31, Jets 13.
Ooh, nice. I like that.
Oh, I'll go a little under that. I'll go 28-10. So.
Oh, nice.
Like it going away.
Nice. Yep.
One more prediction. I'm gonna say one defensive touchdown. Hopefully.
That's bold. You think Myles Garrett gets any holding calls?
He will get at least one. He has to.
One.
Has to.
You can't keep going about without getting no holding calls.
Well, the worst part to me, and we've talked about it on the show, is that now it's like NFL Network, ESPN, like everybody is sitting here and blowing up these clips of him just getting like wrapped around the neck and thrown on the ground. And they're like, how can you not call this? I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, the other day they showed a replay of Michael Dunn. Like, his hands were like this and just grabbing onto his shirt a little bit, and he got called for a flag. I'm like, and Myles Garrett doesn't get called?
Right.
Yep.
Holding calls against them?
Yeah, it is getting ridiculous. So hopefully that gets turned around. I like the score predictions.
Quick question. We usually cover this more in the open, but did we ask where you guys have always been in Jersey, or were you at one point in Cleveland?
No, we're Jersey. I'm Jersey born. Like I said, I went to Mount Union in the late 80s. There was no direct TV back then, obviously. I mean, my dad brought me up as a Giant fan. Giant tickets were very hard to get back in the day. And then when I went out to school, here in our fraternity house, watching the Browns every week. That was always on, was the Browns. So I watched the Browns. I would go to the stadium every once in a while. I saw Bernie Kosar's first game.
Nice.
He played. And I just fell in love with the whole atmosphere. And it was just, that's how I became a Browns fan. I mean, just it was the whole fandom, and just the team itself. Back in those days, that they were awesome. Bernie Kosar.
So you saw Bernie Kosar's first game and his skills diminish. And Kevin, were you born into this? Is what I'm assuming?
Yeah, I was born into this, but I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. Like, I mean, obviously growing up a Browns fan, it was very tough. I would carry around a little Browns backpack, had my Brady Quinn jersey on, I had a Derek Anderson jersey. I mean, I was like, what is wrong with you?
Coming home from
especially
school.
the Olympics team in high school. Oh my gosh, it was terrible. But I wouldn't trade it for the world now. So
coming home from school with a black eye every other day, and your dad's like, "What happened this time?"
Yeah, my dad's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, you made this happen to me, so it's not my fault that I'm a Brown."
Yep.
Kevin's first game, actually, it was in Cleveland
against the
Jets. It was a barn burner, 10-7.
Ooh, nice.
In 2000.
From that point on, Kevin was in love.
Yep.
Look, everybody's got a story, and those are some good ones. I especially like Bobby, that you fell in love with the Browns going to Mount Union. Obviously, soft spot for me there. Also having gone to Mount Union, so but. No, before we get going here, guys, I do want to mention that we are brought to you by who, Kenny?
Seaside Events.
As the official cruise event provider of the Cleveland Browns and organizer of the Browns Fan Cruise. And so with that in mind, I did just want to mention that they ran a competition this year for Browns backers. Basically, the chapter with the most bookings was able to win free tickets for some of their members to the Browns Fan Cruise. The Browns backers of Pinellas won that. However, that we still want to say, obviously, with us being a partner of Seaside Events, we will be emceeing several events aboard the ship. There will be 17 alumni joining the cruise that fans will get to mingle with like they're normal people. And so for anyone that hasn't booked yet, please do so, because it's going to be a really fun time in March of 2024.
Absolutely. Tickets still available, cabins still available, and it's going to be one hell of a cruise.
Yep. And then one final thing for us, we'd like to mention Bobby and Kevin, and to everybody that's in your chapter or anybody else listening, we do have our hot take hotline. And what that is it's a voicemail that we set up for Browns fans to call in and vent to. It could be happy, it could be mad, it could be sad, it could be all of the above in one single voicemail. But just call us and talk to us and let us know how you're feeling on the Browns. But we take the best ones, we put them on air, and then we'll comment on them and see how it goes. So the number for that, Kenny?
330-227-8080. We'll throw it on the screen here as well, so anybody watching the video pod has that also. But again, it's...
And then last thing for you guys, and this is for both of you, is there anything that you want to say to Cleveland fans that have maybe moved away from Northeast Ohio and are missing their fellow Browns fans, or just kind of grew up somewhere else and happen to fall into being a Browns fan, and they're looking for somewhere to join, some camaraderie, and they're thinking about joining a Browns backers chapter? You got anything to say to those people?
Do it.
Yeah, if you need a group of people to watch a game with, join the Browns backers. I mean, we have so much fun. The people in our club they're some of my best friends now. I mean, I've been with these guys for 10, 12 years.
They watched me grow up also.
Yeah,
so.
they've seen Kevin since he's been, 5 years old, and now he's 21. So they're his friends now too. It's so cool, to see we all hang out together. We have, We have picnics in the summertime. Everybody comes over. We have group chats. We're always, it's a lot of fun. So I would advise trying to join a Browns backers group somewhere.
To the younger fans, if you want to be best friends with a bunch of middle-aged men at Browns fans, also do it.
Well, that's why I got him. I'm trying to get the influx of the younger fans coming to the group.
Yeah, hey, these generations ahead of us have the best stories, man. I mean, I know
they got the winning stories too. So
exactly,
all I got is the losing stories.
Exactly.
That's good, but you do got to backfill, though, right? We got to keep these chapters alive and vibrant for the next generation.
That's one thing about our group too, is we have a bunch of families that come, and it's great, They pulled a lot. They pulled the raffle tickets for us, and we try to make it a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome, and we really appreciate everything that not only you but all the Browns backers groups out there do for the Cleveland Browns, and just to showcase, what a great fan base that Cleveland has here. I know a lot of people like to run Cleveland down, and there's one thing you can never take away from us, and it's that our fans are better than anybody else's, and I would put that up against anything. So
for sure.
But yeah, with that, I mean, we really appreciate you guys having us. It's been awesome. Hopefully, we can get up there to North Jersey and see you guys in person sometime soon.
The golf,
man, Andrew Bobby.
That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have the bell in the middle of the decks now.
Oh man, that would be. I think we might have to make a trip. No. Again, guys, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, I'm Bob. This is Kevin. We're from the Browns backers in North Jersey.
And you're listening to the Burning River Sportscast.
Go Browns!